Hey guys, welcome to today's video in which we are going to be covering the life skills for Lost Ark. The life skills currently cover herbalism, lumbering, mining, hunting, fishing, and archaeology. While these life skills may seem pretty straightforward to begin with, there's actually a lot of supporting information that you need to know about these life skills. For example, how to acquire high level tools, items they can create, item prices that are better due to selling due to specific reasons like ships and housing, and a lot of other company information. So in this video, we're going to be covering all the support information. For example, we're going to be talking about the house, we're going to be talking about the special mini game, we're going to be talking about anything related to life skills in general. I'm not going to include each skill in this video. For example, I'm not going to tell you how to mine a rock because by doing so, it's going to make the video very long. Instead, I'm going to upload one specific video for each different gathering skill. That way you can watch this video and then whichever gathering skill you're interested in, you can go and look at that video for that specific information. The videos will be located below this video in the description once they've been uploaded. So just go back and check there if you're looking for a specific guide on, say, mining or archaeology for whatever you're interested in. Okay, so let's get into it. While leveling up in Lost Ark, you're going to arrive at a village called Lake Bar. This may be translated differently, but it is located here, and you get here at about level 25. When you get here, you're going to get a quest that's going to ask you to go into your skills. I would recommend unlocking your skills immediately, and by doing all of the quests, you're going to get a potion which will give you XP in each of your skills. For example, if I open up here, you'll see here that I'm level 7 and 8 across these, and I haven't actually done any XP gathering in here. This all come from the potion. So make sure you complete the quest and pick up your potion. Okay, so now that you've completed the quest and picked up your potions, you're going to be wondering, how do I get tools and what type of tools am I looking for? So what you can do is if you go to a life tool merchant, you can, for example, look at them and it'll say you can get super armor, gathering speed increase, or increase basic reward acquisition. So as your tool gets to a higher tier, it offers you more lines. Like for example, you see here that my base stats here, I only have super armor. So I only have one line of text. However, if I look at a purple tool, for example, the purple tool located here, you'll see that I have super armor, mining additional reward rate, and gathering speed because it's a higher level tool than a green tool. But let's move that aside for now. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just buy a bunch of these. And you're going to want to look through and you're going to want to look for super armor. So what this means is that when you're gathering your materials, you can't take damage. So if we run over here, one of the most annoying things when trying to gather in Lost Ark would be the fact that you try to gather materials and a monster will attack you. And what it'll do is it'll cancel the animation and you'll have to kill the monsters. Now, this may not seem super annoying initially, but later on when there is like 100 mobs around you and they're doing massive AoEs, very frustrating. So if we go up here, let's aggro... Okay, they die. So you'll see here that I'm going to get attacked and it doesn't stop me from mining. This is because I have super armor. So when you're early on, I would recommend that you get super armor on all of your gear. It'll give you a little less materials, but it's just so much easier, quite frankly, so I'd recommend doing that. Okay, so once you've rolled super armor on each of your gear, you're going to go around and do mining. So we're not going to cover that because that's going to be in their own individual videos. So what you're going to do next is you're going to go to your house. So when you've started doing your gathering skills, you're going to start getting some base materials. And you're probably going to be wondering to yourself, well, what am I going to do with these materials? There are actually a lot of things that you could do with the materials in Lost Ark. For example, you can use them to upgrade your house. So like if you go into laboratory, and go down here and try to make things. As you can see here, it requires iron ore and wood. And you can also craft stuff by going into State Workshop, and you can produce items which will require different items, but more about that in the other videos. So the thing I want to talk about here is the exchange material NPC. So in here, you can trade higher level materials for lower ones. For example, I can trade 5 hard iron ore for 50 iron ore. That way, if you don't have any lower materials to upgrade your base or whatnot, you can use these to do that. You can also do it for the other life skills as well. So when you're looking to trade items, just make sure to come to this NPC, which is always located here in your house. Okay, so now we know that you want to use your NPC to roll for your items with super armor, so you can gather by not getting attacked. Believe me, something you're really going to want to do. And now we know where we can trade in our items to the NPC. Let's have a look at where the items are. So some people may get confused by the fact that they're actually located over here in your material storage. So if you go down to Estate and Life and scroll down, you'll see that they're here. So herbalism, logging, and mining. And if you want to sell them, for example, you would go to auction, register, and then you just click on it. Just keep in mind that they sell in different amount of units. Like, for example, if you sell the lowest tier one, it'll sell at 100 at a time. You sell a higher tier one, it'll sell 10 at a time. Just keep that in mind when you're buying and selling materials. Okay, so now that you know how to find your materials and buy and sell them, let's go and have a look at the minigame. So in each major city, there are 2 things you're going to want to keep an eye out for when it comes to gathering. Your leaf quest here, which is going to be a blue leaf, and over here, which is going to be the platinum field. So before we go and have a look at the platinum field, I want to have a look at the collection exchange for world trees. So I mentioned earlier a potion when you complete the quest. To be a little bit more specific, what I was referring to is that by the time you've done all the quests, you'll have enough world leaves, which isn't actually necessarily the case. So what you're going to do is if you go into your life skills, collectibles, so world tree leaf. So you'll see here on this particular account, I only do 3 different skills as I have multiple accounts. So you'll see here that I've collected all of the collectibles for here for a woodcutting, for example. And each one has a different collectible. So you can go to your overall collection, which you can look at them at 67, or you can go to view rewards. So view rewards, as you can see here, 2,200 life experience for all your skills. So this will boost all your other skills. I believe it's to level 7 or level 8. Now, as you go around and collect more ingredients, you're going to get more and more world leaves, which are going to unlock more items. So this may be a little bit different on NA, but at least here on Korea, the things you're looking out for are the gemstone. So the gemstone is equipped in your character slot, and it gives, as you can see here, it gives you more basic rates, more life skills mastery, and whatnot. So you definitely want to get this and put this on as soon as you can. Here you get crafting kits, which is used to create items to gather with. So it creates your tools. This is how you get your purple tools, and it's in your house. I will go and have a look at this really quickly after we do the minigame. Here we have the masterpiece, which is collection item. And the other items that you're looking for here are your subtle items, which are used in conjunction with your gemstone to upgrade it. Okay, so now that we've looked at that, let's have a look at the other thing that's located in the city. So as we mentioned before, it's the Platinum Field. So let's teleport over there. So here we are at the Platinum Field. As I mentioned earlier, they are located in Andy City. Now I should probably mention that before you can go in here, you need to have a Platinum Field bonus ticket. So you're probably wondering, well, what is this? This is gained when you are gathering out in the world. Really important, out in the world. You can't get this when farming inside your house. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up the Platinum Field, and you're going to see 2 different minigames here. One for these 3 skills and one for these 3 skills. Due to this character having the top 3 skills, I'm actually going to go in here, and you can see the rewards located here. This may seem impressive rewards at first, but it's actually not the main reward that you're looking for. So let's enter. Okay, so in this minigame, you can take 1 to 4 people, But for today's video, we're just going to do it solo and kind of jump through it so it doesn't take too long. As you can see up here, we have a 15-minute timer. And as you can see here, you have 3 different types of materials: a specific tree, an ore type, and a herb. If you actually open the map and put your mouse over them, it'll tell you what their names are, so you can locate them pretty quickly if that's what you want to do. I generally don't do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run up here and start gathering. You'll see here the cooperation benefits. So these are the benefits you get if you bring these items back to this location. So a couple of things to note here is that every time that you collect, you get all these materials. You get to keep them. And as you can't see it because it's below the banner. However, I'm getting a bunch of materials every time I gather. And I have 15 minutes of effectively unlimited gathering here. So you're going to run around and you're going to look for the special ore, tree, or herbs that were mentioned earlier. When you get them, you're going to take them back and you're going to unlock these bonuses. When you get up to here, it's going to unlock a secret cave, which is located down here. Now, the reason the secret cave is important is because the secret cave has all higher tier materials in it. So when you gather in there, you get a lot of materials. So when I did this the other day, for example, it took me 15 minutes because that's the timer. I probably made about 3,000 gold in materials just by going through the cave by myself by collecting all the materials. I also got many other materials like bond stones and other helpful things in the minigame. So we're going to keep running around. So we're going to skip a couple here so I can show you what a good one looks like. Okay, I don't believe that's it. So we're looking for... Okay, so we're getting a little unlucky here. So we can actually go through here. There we go. There's an arc light. So you're going to notice that this is going to look a little bit different. But this is really unfortunate because it's really far away. So we're going to pick up the arc light. We're going to kill these monsters so we don't get in the way. So the arc light apparently is not what I'm looking for. That's really unfortunate. So we're going to keep running around and looking for it. That's hard gold ore. It's not what I'm looking for. So this is kind of one of the unlucky times, so I'm not going to overly worry about it. But basically, you're going to keep running around and get the items required for this. So we're going to jump forward until I've gotten all these cooperation benefits unlocked. Okay, so unfortunately this minigame, I got a little bit unlucky and the items were very far away from the beginning, so the timer is a lot lower than it should be. But now that I've taken 4 back, it's unlocked the cave in which you can come in and get the higher tier materials from the cave. So inside the cave, they're actually all purple level materials. So if you can get in here with enough time, you can now run around and get all the materials. So I have 3 minutes left, so I should be able to get through a majority of this, even though I had a very unlucky start. Playing this minigame is kind of rare, so if you do have other players you can do it with, I'd highly recommend bringing them in with you, because they can bring the items back and whatnot. And when you get to this point, all the picks in the field are resurrected. So if you've picked too many because there's too many players in here, they will resurrect anyway, so there's plenty of materials for everyone. If you get all the way to the end, it says down here that a treasure chest will appear in the hidden place in the cave, but unfortunately I am alone, so I'm not actually going to get to that point. So now basically going to just run around the cave and get all the high tier materials, and we'll jump to where the minigame actually ends and we'll have a look at the rewards. So here we are at the end of the minigame. As you can see, the timer is about to run out. Even with only 3 minutes left, I did manage to clear up the entire cave. So as we end, I should probably mention that while in this minigame, your tools do not get degraded and you do not receive any XP. So don't worry about that when you come in here. Okay, so as you can see, in here I killed 12 monsters, no player deaths, that's the progression time. And I did not successfully get the 3rd reward, but that's okay. I got these 2 rewards. Now, you may note that offers like 10 to 20, which is kind of meh, if I'm being completely honest. But if you go into the inventory and go back here, you'll notice that compared to earlier, I have a lot more materials. So it was actually the farming the materials and farming down in the cave that gave me a lot more materials rather than the quote-unquote minigame reward at the end. I would highly recommend bringing other players if you can do this, but just remember that every person comes in here needs to have a ticket, so they all need to be doing gathering. Okay, so now that we've looked at the minigame, let's move on. So let's look at the house in terms of gathering. So there are two main things that you're going to want to keep in mind for your house, aside from crafting. First off is the cave that you unlock. In here you have relic hunting, fishing, and hunting. And you could do these each day. You just want to keep in mind that when gathering here inside your house, you only get half the XP and your materials are locked. So if I go into here and go into Estate Workshop and go to, for example, Farm Produce, you'll see here that they have a house symbol on them. That means that these items are locked to you. And see how it says untradeable? So any items that you get in the house, while they're easier to do, you're going to get less items, less XP, and you can't fuse them with your normal ones. So for example, you can't get 5 solid logs from outside of the house, 5 solid logs inside of the house, and use it to create this item. It's not going to work. So if you have time, I'd strongly recommend that you do gathering outside of your house. Just keep that in mind. So while you can do the gathering in here for a limited amount of time per day, you can also gather over on your farm. So this is my farm located over here, down the bottom. And as you can see, there's many different types of trees and logs and whatnot over here. I should probably mention that those tickets that I used to get in the minigame, you know, that really important minigame with those massive amount of items I get, you cannot get these tickets by farming in your house. So not only are you getting less tickets, less XP, less useful items, you're also not getting tickets, which is the main thing that you're looking for. So I cannot stress enough that unless you're absolutely out of time and you have full energy, do not gather in your house. Although I understand that once people start getting to higher level gathering, it's going to be ruthless out in the field to get the materials because they are worth so much gold. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is going to be unlocking schematics or blueprints to be able to unlock things such as higher tools. Apologies. So if you go down here and go to your recipes exchanger, you can see here you can unlock crafting tools. You can unlock the restoration kit. So the restoration kit will restore your tools without reducing its max durability. If you use silver to repair them, the durability is going to go down. So as you can see, you can get all the tools in here. Once you get the tools, then you can click into manage, Estate Workshop, living tools, and say, for example, here, this is what it takes to make a purple one. This is what it takes to make like a yellow one and an orange one. You can see all the materials are the same. It's just bigger amounts. And the main kit is a higher tier to get to a higher tier gathering tool. I would not generally go for these because they are incredibly difficult to get and they're just very expensive to buy as well. So I would generally just focus on getting to purple at most and using it on the rarer materials. But all the greens that you're collecting, just use your normal green rolled tools with your super armor. Okay, so that covers all the support information for gathering in Lost Ark. I'm going to be uploading a specific video for each different type of gathering, in which we'll go into more depth information, for example, what trees to cut, where to cut them, what these logs can do, and etc, for in-depth information specifically to each crafting skill. Anywho, that covers everything for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.